Genetically modified organism. To some, this may sound like a creature from a sci-fi movie, but in reality it is much more simple. Genetically modified organisms, or GMOs, are plants and animals that have had their genes modified by science. My name is Brittany Lewis, and I have been familiarizing myself with GMOs for many years and found there are many benefits for us and our environment. Today I will be discussing the reason why consuming GMO foods is safe and how it can help society as a whole. GMO foods have been the subject of much debate. Those who oppose it think it's unnatural and dangerous, but much research has been done to show that GMO foods can only help us, not hurt us. First, we will begin discussing a little bit about the science behind GMOs. WebMD, What You Need to Know About GMO, says, the overwhelming science so far says GMOs won't hurt us. The food we eat today is not the same as the food we ate hundreds of years ago. Modifying genes in a lab is the same process but faster as the naturally occurring changes that would happen over time. Mixing genes has allowed us to create crops that can survive a drought, need little to no pesticides, and have more vitamins, which increase our health benefits. This may seem dangerous, but many don't know the traditional breeding technique used since the 1920s includes using radiation to modify genes. According to traditional crop breeding, is not as traditional as you think. I don't know about you, but I would rather have my food genetically modified in a controlled lab rather than using radiation. Many reputable groups have also done testing and found that there is no long-term effects to consuming GMOs. The American Medical Association, the National Research Council, and the American Association for the Advancement of Science all agree that there is no evidence that proves that GMOs have caused any harm based on information from the restrictions on genetically modified organisms in the United States from the Library of Congress. They also do support continuing research on the matter. Opposition comes heavily from believers in organic foods, but just because something's organic doesn't mean it's not harmful. There are plenty of natural organisms out there that are both harmful and deadly to us. Now we're going to cover a little bit about how GMO foods have helped the environment and farmers have higher yields. GMOs have allowed farmers to reduce their use of pesticides and insecticides, as well as increase their yield, which increases their profits, as well as helping the agricultural industry. According to the meta-analysis on the impacts of genetically modified crops, the study found that GMO technology has reduced chemical pesticides by 37%. The same study also found that crop yields increased by 22%, leading to profit gains for farmers at 68%. Additionally, developing countries had higher yields and greater profits than developed countries, which means it was going to benefit their economies much larger than a developing country. Or it's going to lead to a better economic increase for developing countries than for a currently developed country. Also, ag biosafeties, will this stuff harm our environment, mentions how farmers have been using GMOs since 1995 for weed and insect management as well as economic benefits. They talk about how the FDA, the USDA, and the EPA have all come together to ensure that GMOs are safe for us and our environment. Overall, this article also agrees that GMOs require less pesticides than a conventional crop. This has reduced the pesticide volume by approximately 46 million pounds from 2001 to 2005. These facts prove that GMOs have a positive impact on our environment and our global agricultural industry. In conclusion, genetically modified organisms have proven that they can only help us. Sometimes when something new arises, it's natural for people to approach it with skepticism. But with all the research showing support for GMO foods, I think it's time for us to embrace change in the future.